sounds really familiar, but I can't put my finger on it. Oh wait, it's Zeppelin. Hi guys, welcome to another episode of Stupid Guitar Tricks. I'm GR, let's get started. What you just heard there was me playing around with an old Zeppelin classic called Kashmir. It's a cool song, it's played in a double drop D, meaning that both your E, your high E, and your low E are tuned to D. So if you just strum it open, it's got a very melodic sound. If you play the top part of a D, play a D sus2, look like you're giving somebody the tall finger there. You're just going to play the A on the G string, and you're going to play the D on the B string. And then leave that high E, which is detuned to a D, open. Beautiful chord. It also gives you the ability, as you know probably, to do drop D chords. But what it also does is lets us walk this D up. So what we're going to do is we're going to start off with the D sus2 shape. We're not really a D sus2 because we're actually playing that D down below, so it's more of a D power chord. So what you're going to do is you're going to play that. That's your first chord. Then you're going to make this shape. All you're really doing is moving your index finger up from the A to the A sharp, or the B flat if you want to look at it that way, from the G string. The way I like to play this chord is where you had your index finger on the G string and your middle finger, your tall finger, your not so friendly finger, on the B string. What you want to do is switch those. You want to put your index finger on the B string at the 3rd fret and your tall, unholy digit on the G string on the 3rd fret. So they're still in the same spot they were here. We're just flipping them around so that the next chord's easier. You're going to move your 3rd finger now. It looks like this. You're going to move your 3rd finger up a fret to the 4th fret on the G string. The next chord in the progression is you actually use your 3rd finger to fret the G string at the 5th fret, and you're still holding down that D on the B string. Not a very big stretch. And then you're going to slide that whole shape up 2 frets. So now we're fretting the B string on the 5th fret and the G string on the 7th fret. So it should sound like this if you just walk the chord straight up. It's got kind of a Bond thing in there. But this isn't a James Bond song, this is a Led Zeppelin song. Okay, so we've got a 1st chord, 2nd chord, 3rd chord, 4th chord, and 5th chord. And then it just starts back over. Now something you can do, what I was doing in the intro, was I was chugging on just on my bottom couple open strings. If you're playing with a lot of distortion, that sounds really cool. If you're not playing with distortion, you can just let the whole thing ring. Piece of cake. It's really easy. That part's easy. Now the next part's the big walk down. And that, you can play it while not being in a drop D. You can play it. You can play it down there. Although I found it's a lot easier when you got the whole chug thing going on to play. Here's the stupid guitar trick of this episode. We're going to skip a string. We're going to play the string, but we're not going to play the string. The chord for the big walk down, the very first chord, and there's really only 2 shapes in that whole walk down, so it's super easy in a double drop D tuning, is you want to fret the E string at the 12th fret, your high E, this guy here, and you want to fret your G at the 12th fret. Now what about that B? Yeah, it works there. Sounds like I'm playing some love ballad. Not what we're after at all. So what you're going to do is you're going to put one of your fingers, and the way I like to do it is I fret my G string and let my finger just kind of hang down on the B string. So it's just doing that. It's doing chicken noise. Chicken joke. So what you want to be able to do is you want to hear that the G string and the E string. So your G and your E. without, which makes an E minor chord, kinda. You want to hear your G and your E, but you don't want to hear that B. Now you're going to take your index finger, which should be on the G string on the 12th fret, and you're going to move it down 1 fret. So we're going down a half step. Then you're going to take the whole arrangement down. You're going to play the G and the E strings on the 10th fret. And then again, we're going to do the same thing. We're going to move our index finger down a half a fret to be on the 9. So here we should be on the 10 on the E, the 9 on the G. And then we're going to come down to the 7 on the G and the E again. We're going to go a half step down to the 6. Then we're going to go down and slide the whole mess down to the 5, so we're playing our G and our E on the 5th fret. Come down to the 4th fret on your G string. Now we go down to the 3rd fret, G and E again. Except interestingly enough here we're playing a G and an A sharp. And you're going to slide that finger down a half step. So altogether it looks like. There's a little open chord in there that you can throw in. With the distortion, it's not as important as playing it because you're going to have so much noise going on it that it kind of works. But if you're going to play it on a fairly clean guitar, then you go back to the riff most of the time. Most of the time after the riff, you're going to go back to the main part of the song. Although, when you come around, there's like a weird little chorus thing that goes to a G. There's 2 ways you can play a G in a double drop D. One of them is just to grab it right here. You're just barring. You're just grabbing your high and your low E strings on the 5th fret, which in this instance is a G. Now, if you really wanted to be fancy, you could grab it down here, or you could grab this, so you get the B in there, or you just don't play that B. Like we did before, you just gotta kind of mute that B. And then the next chord is an A sus2. A sus2 is really easy. Go to the middle of the 2nd fret. It's really easy. You're going to grab the 2nd fret on your D string and the 2nd fret on your G string. So the 2 of them together sound like that. Neat little double stop. But if you play just the A, don't stay away from those Ds. If you play those Ds, they're going to sound terrible. So on the chorus, you're going to come out, you're going to play your G. And after the G, you're going to play an A. If I'm in a standard tuning, I'll pull off an A sus there because I like the spooky, the lost, weird feeling of it. But here, since we're in this double drop D, I'm going to go ahead and just play a full A chord. Remember to stay off your Ds again, off your E strings that have been detuned to D. It sounds ridiculous if you do it. There's a little motif that they use on the recording that's built off the harmonic minor. It's just a... I'll have the tab for that and for the rest of the song up on our Facebook page, so feel free to pop in there and have a look at that and you know, let me know what you think about it. But if you're playing that, so... Then back to the D thing. Okay, so there you go. That's the whole lesson this week. It's pretty simple. It's a Zeppelin classic. And I hear guys playing it. And for God's sake, if you're one of these guys playing it like this, I'm going to come out and punch you right in the neck. There's just no call for that sort of behavior. So that's it. It's real simple. The things to remember this week is that we tuned everything to the D. So we have basically a double drop D tuning, meaning these 2 strings are a D. Your D is a D. So it's D, D, G, B, D. you can get kind of swampy with it. You can get kind of swampy with it. The other thing to remember is how we're going to skip a string. We're not going to play the B string on the walk down. Anyway, that should keep you busy for at least a week. Remember, we're not trying to change the world here, just how you think about guitar. See you on stage. Peace.